What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Rewriting the Script. I'm your host, Sasha, and this is where we spark change, ignite hope, and empower you to take control. And on today's episode, we have a very special guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi. Okay. I'm Candace Patrice. Who am I? What do I do? I'm introducing myself. Okay. I am a motivational speaker. I am a mindset development coach. I'm an administrative manager for a private practice. Mm-hmm. I'm a vice president for a nonprofit, Tuckerville Transitions. I am a spiritual life coach. Mm-hmm. I'm a mental health, real recent. I just got the certificate on the 2nd.
Okay.
Mental health, spiritual mental health advocate. Okay. So, I got a lot. Podcast host as well. Just wherever God take me. Okay. As kids, we grew up, Barbie, you can be anything
that you want to be.
Yep. And so I've just decided to, with my daughter, I told her, so I'm living that.
Yep.
As best I can.
You should. Jack of all trades. There's nothing that we can't do.
There is nothing we can't do. And
so I'm excited to have you here today. Okay, we're gonna hop right into the episode. Okay. All right, so let's just tell us about your journey. Like, let's start there.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of the backstory. So I grew up, mom, dad, brother's 8 years older than me.
Okay.
Brother was in a gang. He grew up as a thug. I loved him. He was the best.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And I don't know. I think I got a lot of love growing up. So my perspective on life is very light. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of positivity. And I don't know if that's just because of shielding that my mother and father did, or my perspective, how I receive things. I don't know. But childhood was really good. Mm-hmm. Even with all of the things. I ended up, fast forward, went to college. I was always a pretty good kid or whatever. Mm-hmm. Went to college. I got married. I had a baby, got married. And separation happened. And this is where things really changed for me. Mm-hmm. So I've always been a pretty positive person. I love people. I love love. But during the separation, I found myself in a very sunken place that I didn't know I was in. I didn't even know I was sunken. And I remember my birthday, and my friend came over, and I was just in the bed. She brought me a pizza, and I was so down. I think I just cried when she showed up. Mm-hmm. Didn't want to do anything. But what happened was I started listening to sermons, and I found Transformation Church, the Upgrade series, and it talked about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. And I finally felt like I understood the connection. Mm-hmm. Like I was always like, is God 3 people? Is God 1? Mm-hmm. I was just confused. And I think at the end of the day, it's still up to our belief and full interpretation. Mm-hmm. So whatever people's belief system is what it is. But that brought me to this wholeness of peace and joy. And I don't know, living a life close to Jesus Christ is where I'm at now. And of course, I'm not perfect in any way.
Yeah, of course.
But carrying that joy and knowing that whatever God's plan is, we were talking about that before we started shooting, God's plan and how things unveil and how we're right where we're supposed to be, when we're supposed to be, how things are supposed to happen the way they're supposed to happen.
Right, yeah.
So that mindset now lives in me a lot more. So now I'm here, my 10-year-old, a new mindset, learning more, studying the Bible consistently so that I have an understanding for those instructions on my life. Yeah. And how I see how the principles are being manifested in my life.
I got you. Yes. What's funny is like our story is like similar. Like that's why it'd be so crazy. Like, when we met,
yeah.
And I'm just now hearing like you're part of the transformation. I don't know if you told me this before, but that's crazy because when I was going through my separation, that's how I started my relationship with God. Is like I was in the house and I was there by myself and I was just like boo-hooing and crying. And I heard somebody on my TV was like talking about anchoring in God.
Yeah.
And it was Transformation Church.
What?
Yes. And then that's how I like, it was like, it caught my attention and I started watching it. And then that's kind of how like I started to get my relationship back with God. I just started watching them and like,
What?
yes, that's why I'm like, that's crazy.
Let me tell you what's even crazier is that we met through Creating with Creators, and which is Eric and Duffy, and Eric is actually Transformation Nation too. So all the fact that woven line connects us and how God used Transformation Church to kind of, I don't know, I just see that through line and how it's transformed our lives in some kind of way. So, okay, I just wanted to say that.
But no, I think that's really dope. Like, you know, so before, okay, so actually, okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit into your story. So before this, like, did you have a relationship with God? Like,
so, okay, ooh, excellent question. So I used to say growing up, I was spiritual. Then, but I wanted to know more. So there's God. And I started, through my marriage, before that actually, when I was in college, I pledged Diva Incorporated, Divine Intelligent Versatile Artist Society for Women in the Arts, Howard University.
Okay. Okay. Period.
And so we had a woman come and talk, and her name was Yolanda Peebles.
Okay.
And Jericho City of Praise, she's first lady there. And so one of my diva sisters was like, would you be open to going to the church? I was like, I like this first lady so much. Yes. So I went, and they did this example. The pastor did this example on marriage.
Okay.
And he took 2 bricks. He was like, this is you and this is your spouse before you get married. So then he showed the bricks together, and they were mortared together. And he's like, this is you guys when you're married. So the 2 bricks cemented together. Then he took a hammer and he broke the bricks, and he said, this is you when you get a divorce. And the bricks did not break together. Yeah. It was like pieces in each side, because once you're married, you're a part of that person. Yeah. And he used scripture to explain it. And the way that connected me to understand biblically what it should look like with the marriage and how we connect and we become one, it just clicked. And so that journey with God, I think it started, my understanding started there. I always could understand God through music. I didn't understand scriptures. I was like, what y'all talking about?
Yeah,
like,
no, yeah.
Give me the music, and I'd be like, yes.
That's crazy, because that's how I feel like I connect. Like when we had, you know, the event last week, even like with music, I feel like that's how I connect mostly with God. Like it's like through praise and worship, through music. I don't know, it just like do something to me. Like I feel like that's when we're most connected. You know, I don't know if everybody's is different, but for me, I can connect with him mostly like through praise and worship. Like I don't know, I just feel like I feel his. I don't want to say I don't feel his presence without praise and worship, but it's like I could feel
something
more like when it comes to music and praising.
It's that
him.
connection. Yeah, it's the vibrations. Like when you sing and when you hear it, it vibrates things in your body.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine that has something to do with it too.
So, whew.
And also though, okay, so you asked about the connection to God. So City of Jericho is where it started. So then I left college. Okay. Came home and started going to Triumph. Okay. With Pastor Kinlock. Okay. And that did a lot for me, but then somewhere I needed more. I didn't know what it was. I needed more. And then I was reading Power of a Praying Wife. Loved it. And I would notice when I would read the book how my marriage seemed to shift a little bit, but it was my connection with God. I honestly feel like part of my trajectory to my divorce had a lot to do with me not putting God first. God was second. Yeah. It was like, God, I'm gonna come to you when things are hard. God, I'm gonna come to you when I need you. But the relationship with God didn't exist the way it should have. Now, I'm like, I pray and I say, God, no matter what happens, no matter how good things get, I don't ever want to get back to a place where you're not first.
Yeah.
So that now is where I'm at. It's just always, even when things are so great, it's like, hold on, they're great because of God. So first, let me go and give God all the glory. And when God gets glory and God know that you are giving him praise, he is willing to pour so much more into you. And I just see how he pours. And it's not necessarily pouring in a financial way or a way. It's the spiritual pour.
I was about to say, I feel like your soul.
It's
like,
the soul.
yeah. And that's so true because for me, that's like the season that I'm currently in. It's like I know that at one point in my life, I will only go to God like when I needed something and I needed him and when things are going good. But when things are going bad, I mean, I will only go to him. But when things are going good, he don't hear from me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to lie, like I'm noticing like I haven't really been in it, like, you know what I'm saying, like giving him the attention I need to give him. But yeah, so the season that I'm currently in, I found myself, you know, like being distracted when like I said, when things are going well, you like, oh, you know, I'm not praying as much. I'm not reading my Bible as much. But I had always said, like, I knew when I started getting into everything, the first thing I told God was like, Lord, I don't want to get to a place where things are going good in my life. Yeah. And I lose that. Yep. My fire for you. Yes. You know, and I'm noticing like my fire is like, it's like going out a little bit. You know, and it's on me. It's not like nobody else. It's like me just not making the time to it. And that's why like I've been struggling a lot too. It's just because I'm not doing the things what's the word I'm trying to say? Diligently like I used to, you know, and putting God first. Yep. But I'm getting back on track, you know, because I'm noticing like there's been a lot of conviction for me and I've been like, you know, real emotional too as well because like also like he's made it known like my next season, like I'm stagnant in this season right now is because there's still things that I haven't released. I haven't let go of, you know, in order for him to take me to the next level, you know, next season.
That's the journey.
Yeah,
that is the journey. So I have a friend whose granny just turned 100 yesterday.
Okay, come on, granny.
I went to go see her yesterday.
Yes.
But the level of God this woman carries, she lives it. She breathes God. Her energy. So the very first time I ever heard her, she got on the phone and she was like, well, good morning. And one of the things she always said, this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And it's the same energy every single time. And I've heard her back to back to back, like for a week straight. And it's the same. And it made me realize how much just carrying joy within is part of being godly. Yeah. You know, and so when I'm reading the Bible and I'm like, God, love is the greatest of all things. Yeah. I see this woman live God's love and her perspective. And one of the things that she said to me was, I asked her, how do you stay so happy? She said, I don't know that I'm happy all the time. It's just that there are so many good people and the world is full of so many good things. And that statement changed my life because so many people look at the world as negative and bad people in it. I've never heard anyone look at life from the perspective of good. And so it challenged me to see good in all things. Even people who are struggling, it's like your struggles probably have something to do with your life's trajectory, your perspective, your experiences that led you to where you are today. So I don't know, it's just allowing God to, even this, one of the things, and me bringing up Granny too, was to get to this part. When you talk about not being as diligent, it's remembering that just one verse, the verse of the day in the Bible app is enough to start. And once you begin to build that habit, like, let me just make sure I'm checking it daily. Like, I looked and saw my Bible streak was like 260. I was like, wait a minute, every day for 260 days, I've at least looked at the verse of the day. Now, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's the chapter, sometimes it's a book. Sometimes it's just a Bible plan, whatever it is. But I think building that small habit of at least the verse of the day, at least the verse of the day, because it builds that habit. And you'll get, it'll become more repetitive the more you do it. And it won't be I feel like I'm not as close, because it becomes a living.
Yeah. It takes part, like, discipline. Discipline, that's all. Like, I know that. It's like a lot of the things I know. Yeah.
It don't have to, I think we make it so big sometimes. It's like, oh, I got to go spend time with God, so I need to go spend 30 to 40 minutes here. And it's like, sometimes just reading something simple, open it. Okay, that's good. And close it. You did it. Yeah. You did it. That's better than not doing it at all.
Right.
You acknowledge God and you keep going, and eventually you look up and be like, oh, I ain't even watched my show today. I've been reading the Bible for an hour. Because that story was good.
Right,
like, I was like,
oh my God, yeah.
Like, David did what now?
Listen, I was reading I think it's Saul, the one where Delilah was tricking. Samson. I was reading Samson. So when I first read Samson, I was on my way to like Chipotle listening to it. I was reading it at work. And then I'm like, oh, this is so good. I ended up just putting it on the car. And I'm like, and then in my mind, I'm like, I was getting upset at him. I'm like, bro, you keep letting this girl play with you. She keep telling you what she about to do. And you just keep on falling into her trap. I was just like, but it was a real good story. Like, I was so into it. And it also too, I don't know. I feel like resonating with somebody in the Bible as well helps you, like, with your journey.
Yeah.
When you figure out what season you're in, like, okay, I'm in the Samson season, I'm in this season, or I'm in the James season. Or
There's a story in the Bible of a woman who kept trying to have kids so that she could get her husband to love her.
Yeah, I know. I don't know exactly.
I don't either.
But I know what story
But that's okay.
about.
We've been reading, y'all. Yeah. We know the stories. I can't tell you exactly where, but in that, I remember this was before my divorce, before my separation, and I related to her because I was like, I wanted my husband to love me so much, and I at the time just didn't realize his love looked different. I wanted him to love me the way I wanted to, and I was loving him the way I wanted to be. So it was just a matter of not, just didn't get it. We met, we were 15, and it's just what it is. Yeah. But okay, wait, where was I? So trying to figure, I'm like, am I doing the most to get him to love me when it should just be? Like, now in this season, I'm understanding that it was about accepting him for who he was and learning his love language and how he was choosing to love me and just love him back fully in that whole way. And so I remember even, so I related to her on that aspect. It wasn't children. I wasn't giving him children, but I was still trying. I was doing the most. Yeah. And it wasn't translating because it wasn't what he needed.
Right, yeah.
It's
so funny because, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is like, I feel like I'm learning how to be a wife after my divorce. And that's something that I realized too. It was like, I wanted my ex-husband to love me how I wanted to be loved. And I would love, the way I love is how I want to be loved. But you can't love somebody how you want to be loved. You got to give them their love language. You know what I'm saying? Understand, learn them. That's why communication is also important as well. Because you ask them, like, what are your needs? What is it that you need? And then we're trying to give them something that they didn't ask for and that they don't even need. And it's like we're getting frustrated and upset because we're trying to meet a need that they never asked us for.
Okay, I got a story to share. Okay, listen, y'all. This is good because, and it's just relating to what they need and listening to what someone needs. So there was our anniversary, our dating anniversary. It was like our 8 years. Yeah, we waited a long time to get married first. And his car, he had a flat tire, and he was asking me if I could get the flat tire fixed. But I had plans, okay? I was like, one, that's a man job. Why am I going to get your tire fixed? I don't care, like, no. So I had plans to go up to his job and lay out, I got the ribs and everything, so the boss was in on it. He would come to the back and see it was all set up for our anniversary. While he was like, this is cool, it wasn't what he wanted and needed at the time. In his mind, it was, if the tire is fixed while I'm at work, that's going to be better because I can do what I need to do. You're helping me where I need help and not just doing what you want to do, right? And so we later talked about that and what that meant for him and what it meant for me. And it was a role thing for me. It was me feeling like you weren't. It was a lot in my mind. And I thought what I was doing was like, and I did this grand thing, this gesture, and it's like, it just didn't translate the way it was supposed to or the way I wanted it to. But that was a matter of listening, understanding, seeking to understand first and then be understood. It's a lot of factors. But one of the things that I just heard you say too was that you're learning how to be a wife afterwards. But even more so than learning how to be a wife, I think it's more so learning how to be you.
Yeah, that's most important. That's one. For me, like, even I tell everybody now, like, I wasn't ready. I wanted to be married so bad. Like, I worship marriage. Now that it's like now, when you reflect on things, I seen how I worship marriage, and I wanted to be married so bad. And also, even in my marriage, it was like everything was about my husband, nothing about me. It was like I was trying to make another person so happy. But in my during that time, the mindset I was in, it was just like I felt like me having someone determined my worth. I felt like that's what life was all about. Was I was trying to keep someone who didn't really want to be kept, to be honest, or didn't really want to be there. Now that I look back at it, I honestly truly believe this is how I feel. I don't think my husband truly wanted. I don't think I was the one. I think he settled for me. Like, I think I was just like, how you in a relationship with somebody, but they're seeking. You could tell, like, you're there, but they're still looking. I felt like that's how it was now. Like, I don't think I was the one. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. It's just, I've learned that don't determine my worth. Show you right. I know that don't determine my value. It's okay. It's just I also chose wrong, and I wasn't self-aware either during that time. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know my value. I let someone, pretty much walk all over me. I didn't have boundaries, and I settled for that. So at the time, the mindset I wasn't in a healthy state of mind. It was just like, all right, this is it. This is what you're worth. You're here now. You're gonna stay in it. You got 2 kids. You're not really happy, but do your happiness really matter? Divorce is not good, because we're always taught that divorce is bad, which I don't want to say, divorce is not, it's not a good thing. I mean,
I know,
divorce is not a good thing.
It's not the
I'm
goal.
not, because I don't want to promote divorce. Like, if it's capable of being fixed and both parties are willing to do the work and choose each other, I condone people fixing the marriage,
Listen.
But if it's only one person that's trying to do the work and it's just too much mentally going on and like physically, abuse or mental abuse, like, or nobody's changing, I don't recommend staying there.
Now, I have a flip side of that. I know someone who has been in a marriage for many years, and they went through a very rocky point. And by rocky, I mean infidelity multiple times, and just not feeling the connection in the husband-wife. But the flip side is they were really good friends. Like, they can have all of that and still go out and have drinks and have a good time. But it got to a point where they considered getting a divorce, considered separating, and it just got really bad. Like, both of their mindsets had kind of left the marriage, and it's just like, whatever. Until the wife kind of got closer to God. And not only got closer to God, she started rebuilding herself. In her own rebuild, She was able to stand on her belief of marriage, what God is doing, her friendship with her husband, and rewrite the script of her marriage. And now they have 4 kids. They are happy. They are working God into their marriage for both parties, because she's more spiritually connected than he is, but she's bringing him to God, and they're watching sermons together, and it's just a much better place that they're in, and he's more present, she's more present, they're more present for their kids, and their friendship has kicked into their marriage more, and it's just, it depends on the mindset, there's so many factors. But I think also in the ingredients in trying to heal a marriage is forgiveness. It's unconditional love. And that was one of the things I had to ask myself in my marriage was my love conditional or was it unconditional? Am I saying I want to leave because now the conditions he's met his conditions? So it's like, I want a divorce. The conditions have been met. And there was nothing, for me, physically wrong, or like I wasn't in an abusive marriage or anything like that. So, it was all emotional. But what am I saying? So they worked that out. The ingredients: forgiveness, unconditional love, God, and understanding the fruits of the Spirit. Are you carrying the fruits of the Spirit? Because once you start living it, it's one thing to talk things, but start living that. Like if you're saying, I want my spouse to love me unconditionally, I want my spouse to do this and do that, then are you doing that in turn? Are you being the model, the example in the marriage? And that has a period of looking like you're being ran over sometimes, because you're doing something that they're not doing, because you have to show them that it can be done, that you're a different person, not just talking it. You have to live and show, I'm a different person now, not just to my ex-husband, but I'm a different person to my friends. I'm a different person to my family. I'm a different parent. Definitely. It's so many ingredients that go into the change. So I said all of that to say there is the divorce and there is the reconciliation and the rebuild. I think each person has to follow their God gut to know what's going to be best for them, because I think my divorce was best for me. And
same here.
It's grown me in so many ways. It's rewriting the script, y'all. Rewriting the script and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Same for me. And I love, like, when I hear beautiful stories of people reconciliation. Like, I condone that. Like, I love that. If you can make your marriage work, if you can fix it, I'd be like, please do. But for me, same like you said, I think in my situation, divorce was the best choice, which, like I tell, like everybody already knows, it wasn't really my choice. It was kind of like I was forced out my situation. So that it was the better choice, but I found myself so much, and we wasn't equally yoked. So that was another thing, but it is what it is. It don't stop the show.
Not at all.
We keep going.
It's the cliffhanger.
So like I tell people, there's life after divorce, and it could be amazing. We don't have to just we don't just sit there. Don't sit there. Get up, do it with God, and do something about it.
And divorce is the process of grief.
Definitely.
Just so anybody who is going through divorce, separation, just know it is. Look up the process of grief. That's what you're probably going through.
It's the same thing. Also, too, don't put no time limit on grief.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? I just literally had a couple of weeks ago, probably like 2 weeks ago, I had a moment of grief about my marriage. And I was like, not saying it because I know the process of healing. I know that grief doesn't have a time limit. It shows up when it want to show up. But I don't know, in that moment, I was kind of a little shocked. I'm like, dang, I ain't had it, because I haven't experienced that in a while. That's what it was. It was like, dang, where this coming from? I haven't experienced this in a minute. And it was like, literally, I just had to cry it out and sit in it. And
they go back to that example of the brick. You were having some of those pieces.
Yeah.
They're part of you.
Yep.
It just is.
Yep.
And it's okay.
Yeah. So, with you being a mindset development coach, what's the key principles that you advocate to like change your mindset?
Looking at, okay, so for me, the biggest thing is one, knowing that everything is for your good. So no matter what you're going through, you have to know that it's going to lead to something greater. Incorporating God into it is to know that God has something greater for you. So it's saying, okay, God, I know that in this season you're pressing me.
Right.
But the pressing is, when you think of the pressing, you think of what comes afterwards.
Right.
And for me, a lot of the examples I like to give in mindset development is the book of Job and how he went through so much and then in the end was, blessed double. But that pressing, that time, one, there are people who get in that situation and the only thing they can consider is suicide. And that's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's knowing that if you can push through this moment, and I like to give myself a year, then there's something different on the other side,
right.
something to learn and grow from. You just have to be willing and open to do so. So that's one of the things. And then having people look back at something that was bad in the past and how they got through it where they are now. What did you learn from it? How did it work out for your good?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get caught into what it is that was bad.
Yeah.
What didn't work out. And it's like, you're missing the good.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lesson. Yeah. It's a lesson in everything. And also, too, it's like, all right, is we going to sit down and ask God, are we going to do this? We're going to soak in it, right?
Yeah.
Or we're going to sit down and ask God, okay, well, God, what's the lesson in this?
Yeah.
What is the good? How can I change my perspective?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can change. I don't care what nobody say. Anything that's going wrong in your life, you can change the perspective to say, okay, God, I see. And even though some of the things that happen to us, like really be because of our choices, you could change the perspective like, okay, Lord, I know this happened, but at least this happened. You know what I'm saying? I learned this from this, and now I can know how to, if this come across again, I know how to move the next time this happened. Yeah. Or like, boom, I'm going to just use, because I mean, that's what my past is about. I won't say that's what my past is about. I'm going to just say like my divorce. Okay, boom. I went through a divorce, right? But there's so many things that I learned about myself, about things that I needed to heal. You know what I'm saying? I changed my perspective. Like if I was still in that, none of this that's happening today could have transpired.
Listen, I did America's Greatest Speak Off in 2024. And I met this woman who introduced me to a community called Liberated Grounds. We talk about our liberation and what that looks like. And it has opened the door for conversations and growth in ways that I know that connection was divine. Even the way that I met her, it's like, it started with a breath. She did a collective breath at the beginning of her speech. And we just connected. And then she welcomed me into Liberated Grounds. And we're having conversations just about basically changing the world. When I think of Liberated Grounds, I think of how in Revelations we talk about God coming back and how it's going to look. Right. And even though it's not built out physically as big as it can be, it's a place of rest. And so I'm really grateful to see, because I didn't even looking at when we talk about how changing our perspective. I didn't know how that conference would change the trajectory of life just from there, and how many doors have opened up and how much I've learned from that. I ain't had no money to go at the first place. So I really was like, I'm out here winging it, y'all. And I didn't win anything. from that perspective, but I won so much more because the relationships that I got from there.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I mean, I've got examples on things like that. And I was sharing before we shot, like going to Sam's Club and wanting to just order with somebody and them telling me that I had to use technology, which for me was a mental, like,
Yeah.
I started freaking out and I started crying and, I had the women. But what happened was the perspective changed. And it was, I don't have to have them ordered. I can get I can get cupcakes. I can put the cupcake toppers in and still have a good birthday. This was just where my blueprint had it a certain kind of way. But I wrote my blueprint in pencil.
Yeah.
I always write your blueprint in pencil because your blueprint should never be so permanent that it disrupts your life when it needs to change.
Yeah.
So writing it in pencil and everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
It's just my mind wants it to be a certain way. But God wants it to be a certain way.
Exactly. Like I told you earlier, like when things don't go according to my plan, how do I handle it?
Yes.
And I said, I just got to think, well, that's just not how God wanted to happen. I think we always want to control. We as humans have a control issue when it comes to whatever it is. It's like the moment we see that things are out of our control, we start spiraling, including me. I'm one of those people. And I have to remind myself, okay, it's not happening the way I want it to happen, but God is in control. Yep. However he wanted to happen, it's going to happen, and we're going to accept it. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, I just rest in that. Helps me rest in that. It, like with my job. It's been so much going on at my job. And I think I be the calmest person in there. And they ask me all the time, like, how are you so calm? Or like, because I always be like, I mean, it is what it is. If I'm supposed to be here still, I'm supposed to be here. I can't control what the big people do. You know what I'm saying? So every time they come in there with some news and they like, oh, we just sold the company to such and such. Oh, we're downgrading like employees or whatever. All right, if I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not, I'm not. It's like, what can I do about that? Yes, I'm not saying, oh, I ain't a little crushed on the inside, but I'm not finna spiral about something I have no control over.
That's another ingredient in the mindset development.
Yeah, because it's just control, like releasing the control. The only thing you can control is yourself. You cannot control other people. That's another thing. We want to control how people react. People emotions, feelings and stuff. And that's something I had to realize is like, I can't control other people, and it's okay. Just accept what is happening and only move with how you can move. I don't like I used to be the type of, people encourage people to the same energy, like, oh, give the same energy that somebody else. Can I tell you, like, my mindset has changed on that?
Yes.
And my perspective has changed on that because I don't believe, like, I should change my heart because somebody else is acting differently towards me. If you get what I'm saying, like, and what I mean, I'm not saying let nobody walk all over you. I'm not saying like let nobody play with you. You know what I'm saying? But I got a choice to how I deal with that person. If that person if I'm being nice to this person, cool. Or if I'm gonna just use dating. I'm gonna use dating as an example. If you're dating or courting with somebody, and they're not giving you the energy that you need or you want, right? You have a choice to cut that person off. But are you going to, stop loving how you love or stop treating people how you love because this person didn't treat you how you wanted to be treated? You know what I'm saying? No. Yeah. You just choose to cut the person off, or you choose how you deal with these people moving forward. You don't change the way you don't change your heart posture.
Yeah, and you still do it.
You don't change your morals, your respect. Because because in the past my husband had committed infidelity and he did this to me, and at one point my mindset was, men ain't nothing. I don't never want to get married again, or all men are the same. No. Just because one person did you wrong or did you like this don't mean that every person is like that, and it also don't mean you change how you are.
Yeah.
You remain remain in your character, remain who you are, and treat people with love and respect no matter what.
Yep.
Now, stand your ground. If
Yep.
somebody disrespecting you, yeah, I'm not saying take it, but we know how to do stuff with love and release them people. Just release them.
You know, oh my goodness, you said so much. Have you seen The Chosen?
Yes, I watched The Chosen. I had to think for a minute, but yes, I love The Chosen.
Okay, so I've been listening to the Gospels recently. I was reading Book of Matthew, and one of the things, Jesus' teachings, first of all, he really is like, be easy, control yourself, show love.
Yeah.
And you know, it says if somebody slaps you off from the other cheek, they take your clothing, then
And
off
you
from
be
your
like,
jacket.
okay, Lord, am I letting these people walk on
But
the free?
there's an episode in The Chosen
Uh-huh.
where the Romans come and they make them carry their
Yep,
things
I
for a
know what
mile.
you're talking about,
And
yeah.
then Jesus keep walking. They're like, "What you doing?" And he was like, "We can only make you do this for a mile."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "But isn't your stuff a mile up?" And they're like, "Yeah, but we can't make you carry your stuff." He's like, "Well, if anybody asks, tell them we volunteered." I was like,
And the disciples was pissed.
but that depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Because
saying.
what I
yeah.
saw was you showed the love. They felt so stupid that they took their things back. Like their whole energy changed. Like y'all just gonna do this?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I guess I'll help. So from that perspective, and they were coming through with like, let me just help, because they felt some kind of way about about love being shown, and it's like I'm being a complete idiot. But I think that's kind of how we go through life, and if we can lead through love, people's responses will change.
Right. Yeah.
And they need to see love from people more often.
Facts. I agree. I agree with that wholly. Be the example. That's it. Be the example.
Now that take me down a parenting rabbit hole, but I'm not gonna, because we have to be the example for our
I was about
kids.
to say, and that's crazy because I mean we about to go into that anyway.
Oh.
So, with you being a mom and an entrepreneur, what challenges like have you came into, and how do you manage the roles? How you manage your roles, both roles, and what advice like would you give someone else?
Okay, as a parent, both roles, as
Being a parent and an entrepreneur.
Letting my daughter see me, bringing her to places and spaces where she can be in, like even the event that we have. With Creating with Creators, she's generally with me. One is a school night, right. So that it's helpful. But again, I think it comes down to being the model. I talk to her, I share with her what I'm doing, what the purpose is.
Right.
We talk about God, and it really is being the model. Because I think back in the day, people would say, do as I say, not as I do. But children respond to what you do because they want to be us. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're their role models. Like, what we do, how we respond. You hear kids in videos and they're like, maybe they're cussing somebody out, and it's like, you're responding to what you see.
Yeah.
So even when I'm in the world and I'm driving and let's say somebody cut me off, opposed to going yelling and cussing at them, I'm like, man, I wonder what they have going on today. And then it starts changing her mindset to look at people from a different perspective, not the moment, but it's like, I don't know what they're going through. Yeah. Or even the reflection on herself, like, it's okay. You have to communicate what's happening so people can understand, so I can understand. So we have a very open relationship.
I love that.
And I like to say I'm a gentle parent.
Yeah.
And I was sharing even before we were recording how gentle parenting can be difficult in the beginning.
Yes.
Because kids will test the boundaries. And if you're not yelling at them and things like that, they're like, well, I'm not even in real trouble. And it's like, but it's not just about you being in trouble. It's about you understanding the lesson. It's about you knowing when something big happens again, how to deal with it. So I try to teach my daughter principles. Again, to go back to the Bible, like God sent Jesus to teach us the principles. Yeah. The New Testament is about living a different way, living God's way, and Jesus was the example. So when I'm being a parent, it is to lead that way, lead God's way, so that as she grows, even though she's going to do her things because she's a kid and she's learning and she doesn't know, she hasn't had the experiences, and I can't take experiences from her learning,
right?
But I want to say, like, when you get to these experiences, it would be helpful to navigate them in a way that's like this,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
So
no, I understand what you're saying, because like I started gentle parenting after, like, I started to change my parenting when I started to transform me, you know, and and it was just little things I started to see in my kids that, of course, they were picking up from me. Like, when you're angry, you're lashing out. When you're upset, you're not knowing how to express your emotions in a positive way or in a healthy way. And I started to see just them picking up little things, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know, and that made me just started to change the way I parent them, how I talk to them, even with discipline, how I discipline them. And I don't regret it, because a lot of people, you know, of course, people gonna have something to say. Everybody don't feel like, you know, gentle parenting is, they be like, you know, they look at you weird or differently. But I've noticed a big significant change in my children since I started gentle parenting. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying I let them walk all over me.
Right.
I have more patience with them.
Yes.
And also, too, I let my kids speak. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I let them express themselves in a respectable manner. Yeah. They know they got bound. They know not to play. Don't play with me. You can say what you need to say, but be respectful about it. Watch how you say it.
The mirror relationship between us and God.
Yeah, and also too, I just want them to know, like I want them to see me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them, because my kids see me when also too, that's one thing. People don't want to let their kids see them when they're broke, like when they're broken or when they're hurt. They try to hide that. I hide that now. If I'm having a rough day and an emotional day now, I cry. Yeah. And if my child is there and she'll see me crying, she'll ask like if I'm okay, and I'll tell her, it's okay, don't worry, I'm just having a little rough day.
Yes.
But mommy's gonna get through it. Nothing. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want you to. It's nothing you did. You didn't do anything wrong. Yep. I assure her that, and I assure her everything's gonna be okay. Yes. Because I want my daughter to know it's okay to express your emotions. You know, our kids don't express. You know, because I had noticed my oldest daughter, like when stuff will be wrong with her, she would try to hide or not express her emotions. So we have to be an example to everything. Yeah. You know,
and watching our responses.
Yeah.
Like my daughter would get me sometimes, and she'll be. This is how I know she got something she really need to say. Mm-hmm. She'd be like, "Mom, let's play a game." I'm like, "Okay." We listen and we don't judge. Uh-huh. She's like, "What you want to share?" I'm like, "Uh-oh, this girl got some things to share." She's that's her way of saying, "I need a safe space to share something that could be difficult, and I don't want to get in trouble for it, but I do want to share it with you." And we talk about that. Like, there are things I want you to be comfortable sharing with me. It doesn't mean there won't be a consequence sometimes, but we can get through anything.
I love that you said. That's how I tell my daughter too. And like, she'll tell me, and then if sometimes there's times where she don't want to talk about something, or if I'm asking her what's wrong, and she'll say, I don't want to talk about it right now. I respect that. Respect it. And when she's ready, she'll come back. Yeah. And she'll come back and say something. Now, I remember, like, when I first started doing that, it used to eat me up inside, because I used to want to force her to talk about it. Like, because, like, I want to fix it. I want to fix her problems. But I always know I'm not going to always be able to fit. We're not, like, as moms, sometimes our kids we got to let them learn. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we want to fix everything. But let's be honest, some things we have to let them handle. You know?
Yep.
So, parenting and entrepreneurship, you know, and also I just want like you said, let your kids see you. I want my daughter to see, because I want her to have that confidence. I want her to have all that. Also, you know,
our children can help us.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter does this thing. I get anxiety sometimes. And she can sense it. I don't know how she's calm. She's so calming. Uh-huh. Oh, my God. But one of the things she did to me one day, she was like, "It's okay, Mom." She was like, "Smell the roses, blow out the candles. Smell the roses and blow out the candles." And we did that. And I remember even one time we were in Meyer, And I don't know, I got overwhelmed and she was doing things. I said, we need to stand, like we stood right there. I said, can I hold you? I said, because I'm getting frustrated and I don't want to blow up. So we need to reset. We stood in the middle of the store and reset. And I held her and I took some deep breaths and she took some deep breaths. I said, I really just need you to listen right now. And so can we just get done what we need to get done? Because I don't want to yell. And she was like, okay, Mom. And we got through it. But it was like, before it got real big, we had to bring it back to ground zero. And they needed, we needed, like, you got to find a balance.
So that is going to bring me into what is it like with everything like that you've learned and you went through life and you went through your divorce and your separation and your rebranding of yourself. What is it that today in your world that you have going on, and like what are the things that has transpired out of you rewriting your script?
Ooh, we got enough time. Okay. Okay, so one, I do have a podcast called Essential Mental Healing. Okay. And that is a podcast just about our healing process. And we talk about different ways that people have gone through their journeys because everybody's journey is different.
Exactly.
And everybody, there's nothing new under the sun. And if we don't voice it and let people hear that other people are going through things, just like rewriting the script, then they won't know and they'll feel alone sometimes. And then I believe that that's a prevention of suicide, which brings me to my conference that's happening November 8th, which is called More Than a Woman, Healing the Pain. And so I did a conference in 2019. It was called More Than a Woman, and it was about self-care. But from that conference, women were crying in the end. I said, oh, there's pain here. Yeah. So 6 years later, finally getting back to, because, we had COVID. Yeah. Just life happened. I got a divorce. Life happened. And so that is a safe space for women to talk about their pain, listen to others share theirs, but also a place to release. We're going to have, it's a lot of things we're going to do there. We're going to have meditation. We're going to have some praise and worship. The thing is, it's not a Christian conference, but spirituality is important because it's important to me. And I can't do anything unauthentic. Right. So, we're music, poetry, dance, meditation, pop panelist. There'll be therapists on site to people that have 20-minute sessions. Yes, I'm so excited. There'll be a place where if you just need to step away and release without talking to someone, we'll have an option for that. There'll be food and stuff. So I'm doing that and just really honestly trying to spread the good news, one person at a time. The conference is large, but every encounter that I make, I look at as a God encounter. Everybody gets a fresh start. Everybody, because somebody could have changed their life yesterday. Yes. And I'm not going to judge them based off of the chapter that I met them in. After someone said, don't judge a person by the chapter you met them in. Because we still have so much rewriting we can do. And I love the title of this pod, Rewriting the Script. Thank you. I mean, it says so much in its title by itself. Yeah. And I'm grateful to be able to share my story. I'm grateful to be able to be here with you and to just continue to build and do whatever it is that God wants me to do. Yeah, most definitely. I love that. Yes. And I I thank you for coming. And, that's what I think life is about. Like, just continually to write your story. Your story is never ending until God says it's ending, until God says it's over. A lot of people don't know how to fight. They don't know how to fight, and they lost hope. And I think that we as women and men, because we're not the only ones who go through things. Men also go through things as well. I feel like we just need to be an example and give the world hope and show what God can do. And just to show, give people encouragement to get up.
like not sulk in the bad and the things that's not happening in your life right now, because they can't happen. You just got to get up. You got to get up and you got to take the step and just start, that's why I have the hand. The pen is in your hand. It's in God's hand, but you're writing your story with God. You know what I'm saying? Who got control of that pen? Nobody else. You have the pen, and you can read, include in what I'm saying, because I don't want to say, control your own life. But what I'm saying is, with God, teamwork, letting Him control you, because I feel like God will give us the desires of our heart, according to His will, of course. But you write your story and ask God to write it with you. You know what I'm saying? Ask Him to guide you. Guide your steps. It may not be exactly like we said. It may not be exactly what you want it to be and how it look like. It could be a little bit different, but that's just because that's the way God wanted to go. So don't give up. You can't quit on yourself. That's the only thing that's gonna stop you. If you don't get up and do nothing about it, that's your own fault. It's nobody's fault. So once again, I appreciate you coming on, and I love you. I'm so happy that we were able to meet, and I truly believe God has a lot coming up, and so we're gonna go to the next segment. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you 2 questions.
Okay.
First question is, how do you see yourself?
As a light, as God's light, as love and light.
And the next question is, if you have anything in your life, or if you have already rewritten your script, what is it?
I've rewritten how I see myself. I've rewritten myself to love myself wholly and to see the God within myself and live that out.
Okay, that is beautiful. That's amazing. This is a wrap of this episode. We appreciate and we thank you for coming, and we will catch y'all on the next episode of Rewriting the Script.